So this is the software. This is Read and Write Gold. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, you just load it up from your desktop, and it's this floating toolbar. And what you can do with that actually is drag it up onto the top of the screen. And if I go in, you can actually customize the settings to begin with. So I have it set the toolbar color. I have it set to sky blue. You can change the color of the toolbar if you like. A few different options. And I'm going to stick with sky blue because that's my personal preference, but it's up to each end user what way they want to set it up. So if we go into general options, another thing to take note of is the icon set. So I have it set at clear style color. You can also have it in clear style, which is white icons, professional, or fun, which is probably more geared toward maybe the primary end. I'm going to stick with clear style color for now. And you can set it to have it large icons with text, or small icons with text, or small icons without text. I'm going to stick with large icons without text for now. So to get started and showing you how it works, I'm going to load up a Word document here. I have on volcanoes. And the main functionality of Read and Write is the text-to-speech. That's the core of what we do. So any Word document, PDF, online, wherever it might be, you want to have something read aloud, you just click play.
A volcano is a conical hill or mountain formed by material from the mantle being forced through an opening or vent in the Earth's crust.
So you'll see as it's read there, it highlights each word as it's spoken. It's what we call dual colour highlighting. There might be a wee slight delay with that because it's through this Adobe Connect, but it should, in normal time, it'll track with the words. And you actually change the voice as well if you want. So if you go into speech options, I'm sure some will be familiar with that voice, and you can change it in here.
This is your new voice. Is it okay?
You can have, say, the voice that's used on Siri on the iPad and iPhone.
This is your new voice. Is it okay?
And seeing as we're on the eve of St. Patrick's Day, we'll try a wee accented voice, so an Irish voice.
This is your new voice. Is it okay?
For the time being, we'll stick with Heather. And you can change the speed and pitch of these voices as well. So I have mine set pretty much about halfway, but each person can slow it down and speed it up as they need. I mentioned as well about the dual colour highlighting. You can customise that to your own preference. So it's set at yellow and blue, which is supposed to be the best for anyone with dyslexia, but there's a whole host of different variances there that you can pick between. I'll stick with yellow and blue for the time being. So close that off. So say you can have anything read aloud. If you're going through and reading from a document, so I'm going to look through up here. As I click, it brings up different sets of features. As I said in the beginning, we work on 3 different areas. So I'm going to look for reading features. So select reading features. And if I want the definition of the word volcano, just highlight volcano and click on dictionary. And I can have that read aloud.
1. A mountain with a large hole in the top out of which gas and lava sometimes burst, or used to burst in the past. The volcano erupted and destroyed an entire town.
So I can have that read aloud. Often the case for someone with dyslexia is they know what a volcano is. It's just when they get to the word volcano, it's decoding that word. So a nice way to do that, rather than going to the dictionary, is the picture dictionary. It's a quick way of doing it. So any word you click on, you get a wee visual reference of that word. You can actually insert those into the documents by clicking on the pictures. If I click, it puts it in automatically. So further to that, what you can do, if say you have good students to read through the document, any words they're not too sure of, just highlight them as they go through. Say, right, wasn't too sure of that word, had to check that one, had to check the definition, take vent as well. And click on this one, which is called vocabulary. And you can add in a title here if you want, or you can add in any other words you want to. And when you click OK, it builds you a document with the word and the definition and the symbol as well, and that's a Word document. Usually at this point I hold for applause, so I'll just assume everybody's applauding. As I say, that's a Word document, so you could actually type in notes there as you please, or if it's someone with English as a second language, you could type in there the translation for them, and that's something they can print off. And if it's keywords that they need to learn for the week, that can be a quick way of making that list. Print it off, give it to the students. Next week let them make their own list and work from there. So we just close that off. Or I could save that as well, but I'll just close it for now. Anytime you make highlights, you want to take them off, just do clear highlights. And let's say I was doing some research on volcanoes. If I highlight the word volcano and click on this one, which is Fact Finder, it takes me straight to search on volcanoes, so it cuts out having to open up the browser and type it in. Make sure I get to the right place. And when I'm on a website, I can actually have the website read. And if you want to read the web, you go to the speech settings and select Read the Web and hover over wherever you want it to read.
A volcano is rupturing the crust of a planetary mass object, such as Earth, that allows hot lava, volcanic ash, and gases to escape from a magma chamber below the surface.
Stop that. I always advise turn Read the Web off if you don't want to be reading, because wherever you hover it will read out, so it's worth turning it off. Now, what you can do there, so if you read a bit and you think to yourself, right, that's the research I need for my assignment, say, you highlight the text using the highlighters, same way you would with the textbook, going through with highlighters. And we'll take this bit, I want to get a bit about volcanic features, highlight that as well. So I've got all my highlights together. I'm going to click on Collect Highlights, which is this circular one. Collect Highlights, and I'll decide what way I want to order my collections and what bibliography format. I've selected Harvard for now, and click OK. And it brings all my research into one document, and it's all color coded for me. And it brings the bibliography over as well, so I can show my work and where that came from. And you could have multiple web pages open at one time, or Word documents as well, and bring all your research from loads of documents at a time into one place. So really handy one for particularly students, exams coming up, or doing assignment, if they're doing their research for that. It's really handy for that. Another way they could use this for revision or for research is to create an MP3 file of the text. So I'm just going to take this first wee bit about volcanoes erupt during the crust of a planetary mass object, and I'm going to create an MP3 of that text. So I'm going to click on SpeechMaker and click Next and decide what voice I want to use. So I'm going to use UK Daniel, and I'm going to save this to my desktop. So create. So I'm going to go out to my desktop and find this file, which is here.
A volcano is a rupture in the crust of a planetary mass object, such as Earth, that allows hot lava, volcanic ash, and gases to escape from a magma chamber below the surface. A volcano.
So that's creating an MP3 file, which I could now, say it's a young student you want to encourage them to read. An alternative way to give it to them is to put an MP3 file, put it on their phone or tablet, whatever it might be, and they can listen to it whilst they read. Or as I said before, so it could be a student doing revision, they could put it onto their MP3 player and listen to it while they're at the gym or out for a walk, something like that. So just close that off. Another way to sort of get students interested in reading, or an alternative way to give them reading to do, is by scanning in a book and having it read aloud. So this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What I'm going to do is go to Extended, and I'm going to use PDF Aloud. I'm going to select Click and Speak, and I'm going to click and speak and read this first paragraph.
Mr. Utterson the lawyer was a man of a rugged countenance that was never lighted by a smile, cold, scanty, and embarrassed in discourse, backward in sentiment, lean, long, dusty, dreary, and yet somehow lovable.
Okay, so you can scan in any document. It runs a process called OCR, which means it recognises text, and the software will read it from there. So it could be any book or any document you want to scan in. Just scan them in, give them to the students, and let them listen to it whilst they're reading it as well. That kind of leads us into how we work with exam papers as well. So it's because we can read a PDF. So same idea. You have the paper scanned in, or you have a digital paper. And if we go down to the question, or down to the source, you want to read this, you just click.
In many ways, nothing changes. We love our children. We want our children to grow up to be competent, decent human beings fit for adult purpose.
And if you want to have it read by one word, for example, you just click and it's the word children.
Children. We want our.
If you turn off continuous reading for one word, it's probably better, so it doesn't go to the next one automatically.
Children.
Purpose.
Purpose. Occasions.
This will also work on interactive papers for reading one word as well, so if you typed in the word, you can listen back to it as well. The software is used in exams throughout the UK. Hundreds of schools are using our software to read exams. And it's really took off over the last couple of years. I'll just close that off. I think we've about 5 minutes left, so I'll just finish on a few other bits and pieces. So I've showed you the reading side of our support and the research, so some of the writing support that we offer. So we click on this button and look for writing features. So found writing features. The first one is a spell checker. Now obviously Word has a spell checker.
Spell check completed.
Right. There we go. Bad if spell check was completed in this document. So ours works slightly differently in the Word in the sense that it gives you the word along with the definition, so the students can be sure that when they get the suggestion that it is the right word, so they can listen to it. Chapter. Listen to the definition.
Chapter. One of the sections of a book. Often this has its own title. Chapter 3 is really scary.
So say, yep, that's the chapter I want, and click change and it puts it in automatically. If you get something like this one, lawyer, is brought up liar as the first option. Okay, that's not the right one, so go down to lawyer, maybe even use the picture dictionary. Brings up the picture of a lawyer, or looks like a judge, and say, yep, that's the right one. Click change, and it puts the right word in for them. So, particularly for students who often just pick the first word that Word's spell check brings up for them, they can be a bit more informed of what they're picking. It also has a phonetic map behind it, so if you write physics, if I write it with an F instead of a PH and spell check that, it brings you up physics with a PH as the first option. It also has a useful error log in it, so you can actually track students' mistakes, spelling mistakes that they've made and the changes they've made and the type of spelling mistake that it is. It's a useful one to sort of track students' progress throughout a year. We also have word prediction. I'll just close this off. So the word prediction panel, you just click to open this panel, and as you start typing, it'll bring you up suggestions of words. And the more you type about something, the more likely it is to bring that word up. So a lot of what I do is about volcanoes. So you'll see as I type in V, volcanoes, the first option. A good way of using this is if a student just needs a bit of inspiration for a word, or for someone who struggles with spelling, if they get a couple of words right, they can use the prediction to finish off their sentence. Other wee things just to finish off, there's also a homophone checker, so any words that are easily confused, say the likes of summary and summary, and it works the same way as what you have with the spell checker, so you can use the picture dictionary with it. Say book summary, yep, that's the one I want, click change and it puts it in automatically for you. We also have a screen mask, so if anyone uses coloured overlays, you can use this screen mask feature. You just click it and it puts a tint on the screen for you. So I have mine set to yellow and blue, and I have a mouse underline with it as well. But you can customize this, obviously everybody will have a different preference. So you can change the colours, so say yellow is the one I would set, you could pick green. And you could even take that underline off and just have it green, or you can change the colour of the underline as well. A couple of other things to finish. We have a translator, so you can translate from English into the following languages. So English into all of these. You can translate and it'll read out in French, German, Spanish, Portuguese and Italian and Irish as well. Also a voice note, which is a really nice feature. So if I go back to my volcano document and I want to maybe set a reminder for myself to add something in later, I could say add in bit more about volcanoes here. I hope you would have something a bit more inspired than that. And you click insert, and it puts it into the document for you, and that's created an audio file you can listen back to. Add in a bit more. So that's something say a student could use to set a reminder, or even from a staff point of view, use it for feedback for a student and send it to them and they can listen back to it. I think just about up for time, Craig.